Hello and welcome to episode 29 of our Timberborn Update 6 Waterbeavers playthrough here, cycle 33, day 3. How about that? Right in the middle of a temperate cycle. And last time, we fixed a lot of stuff. We didn't, complete everything we wanted to complete, but we did get started with a new storage area, slightly more organized over here. We've got our alchemists looking pretty good. We have a third one on the way with a whole lot more storage we need to put in here, and we started the process trying to streamline some stuff. And some of it we got done, some of it we didn't. But never fear, there's plenty more to be done here. We have a little bit of a disaster efficiency nightmare here, but we have an irrigation lodge, we have a lumberjack barn, we have a forester, and we have a forester hauling upgrade, which is going to make it possible for us to have a lot more trees in this general area. And I think, for the time being, to allow us to get access to even more irrigated land, maybe a little bit better, more stable, so on and so forth, I think it would make sense for us to have these blockages removed and bad water-proofed with the addition of a floodgate dam. But we have to be able to actually construct this thing before a bad tide comes in, or else we're going to be in some deep trouble. So maybe we want to hold off on that for a little bit. Try to get some other stuff taken care of. But for the time being, we do have a decent amount of stuff here. I do read all the comments, like I always say. Some of you think I should have the forester under here instead of this irrigation lodge, in favor of instead using the super fertilizing irrigation tower bath. Well, the reason I didn't do that is because these buildings do not irrigate other levels besides the one on which they are placed. So it really wouldn't have done that much more to put this here instead of this guy. And the way this is laid out just really doesn't make sense in my mind's eye to take that kind of an option there. But we are farming trees. We've got plenty more to plant. We've got plenty more to cut down in about 10 days-ish, 11 days. And that's good. We've got stuff planted here. We've made some really nice strides in a lot of different things. But because, we didn't have any power coming through here, I had the mechanical drill paused. Now it's unpaused, so we can actually, get stuff going here. We've got plenty of coal, but we had a problem with our population and our jobs, which we'll discuss, I guess, in a little bit. And we did end up fixing it, but what happened last episode was when I had the population migration set up, I was basically using District 2 as an infinite baby generator, unwittingly, but that has since been fixed. We are exporting all of the babies to the main district, and we more or less force import the maximum quantity of adults into this district at all times based on the amount of housing we have. So, it shouldn't happen again. Famous last words, etc., but thankfully, it seems to be doing pretty well with that. Now, I know there's a whole lot of stuff we have to get to, and it's really easy to say, oh, well, let's just do that next time, because, it doesn't always end up working out. But we're going to make a concerted effort to try and fix at least a few things today. Someone brought up that I did not have a suspension bridge completed over here, but this has been completed for a while, so I'm not actually sure. Oh, is it this one? Okay, I was thinking of the other Architect's Lodge, because there is one here. It's like, oh, I didn't think I was doing that, but no, okay. Now that I've successfully remembered, the basic stuff that I needed to successfully remember, we can put this suspension bridge in here, and then just because it's going to be a little cheaper, I will just put a platform there. That will get this connected across here, which is going to be tremendously helpful, even though we do technically have this as an option. Increasing, or I guess decreasing travel time is probably a better way to word it than whatever I was going to say. It's always going to be a good idea, so you can get everything optimized, set up a whole lot better. We've got mechanized kitchen houses producing mushroom stew. I would love to have a whole lot more of this. It's just one of those things that unfortunately takes a whole long time to get done. And while we did build a decent storage setup here for the ingredients, and we've got the warm storage for the finished product, I don't think the output of these two is high enough, and the consumption is too quick. so it doesn't end up going into the warm storage. So we'll see what we can do about that as time goes by. Just need to try and be a little bit better with our workforce utilization. So you take a look over in the corner, it says we have 9 injured beavers, we've got burns, we've got diseases, we've got beavers who have been contaminated, and a lot of that is what's causing all of this to be huge problems. So starting off with 9 injured beavers, come in here to our well-being tab. We have 6 medical beds for injuries, and only 3 of them actually have half-fermented sake in them. So if we click on these guys... okay, so one of them that has it in there is actually in the other district. That's good. We wanted that. So these guys have some, these guys have some. This one does not. It is prioritized by haulers, but it is kind of far away from all this other stuff. So I guess we should go ahead and build a couple more of these, and then make sure we're producing enough half-fermented sake, which is one of those things that takes a long time. It takes 2 days to make a batch, and a batch is 60. We have 2 of them going here. I was going to put additional stuff at some point in time. We have this fermentation house set to make kimchi. No. That was supposed to make half-fermented sake. Okay, well that should help. That should help now that that's actually set up correctly. This is ready to get exploded. Very good. As a reminder, I paused construction of these because we didn't have enough planks, but now we have planks. Let's go ahead and turn this on. I don't know why I paused the path construction, but this is going to help us a lot in terms of having storage for different items. This is all piles, so it's industrial stuff. We've got some wood, we've got some planks, we got some metal, we got some dirt, we got some saltpeter, we got some salt. No peter. We've got... that was bad. We've got iron, we've got coal. We just need to have some storage for sawdust, which I think would make a whole lot of sense to go right here on this edge with another couple of these piles. Now, we have the gigargantuan ones, whatever you want to pronounce that as, but those require glass, which we don't have yet. So, you know the drill. Just to do one step at a time, as one does. I'm going to go ahead try to expedite this by putting in a ladder on this side. Should be the easiest way to go about doing it. And then that way, everything should be a little bit easier. And of course, we're going to have another layer of stuff on this side with other storages. But you got to, you know, keep yourself ahead of the curve here. Someone else pointed out that we do not have all of the paths connected here, which now has been fixed. This doesn't have any job currently, but I was reminded that comic books are one of those things that go toward beavers' well-being, and they're like a lifetime assignment kind of deal. If that makes sense. We haven't made any before, but possessions. You make a beaver one of these, they keep it forever, as far as I understand. So shell necklaces have to be imported, or the shells have to be imported, and the necklaces have to be made. Wooden toys can be built in one of the other buildings, I think the Handicrafters Lodge. But the comic books, since this is not currently doing anything else, if we have a beaver in here, we might as well put them to work making a couple of those if they have a little bit of extra time. But now we have tar, we have nitroglycerin, and we have brain-boosting salts. And that's really good news, because all of those things are very important, and we were having to juggle all of that, and it was very annoying. And then over here we had the problem of, oops, I accidentally, on purpose, moved the irrigation lodge a couple tiles, and now all of this land is contaminated. But if we detonate this... Oh, it's actually still contaminated? What? I thought it was thought it would reach all the way over there. It does. So why is this... is that just slow to recover? Okay, there it goes. There it goes. It's about to lose my mind over here. But I figured we, you know, just dynamite the land out, and then we get a little bit more, even if we have to, you know, kind of reconfigure how this stuff is laid out. It is going to be usable. And predictably, I'm going to keep growing more sunflowers, because we can never, ever, 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 ever have enough of those. Especially when we start making more and more sunflower oil. We just have this one thing all by itself, which probably needs to be prioritized by haulers anyway. And of course, they're taking their sweet time on this, but that's fine. Not going to rush them on that. But At any rate, the main thing I was about to do before I got distracted was put in additional medical beds for injuries. And we've got all this space over here that doesn't really have a tremendous, you know, usage outside of something like making medical beds for injuries. So I'm going to go ahead and put 5 more over here. And we will need to have a storage for the half-fermented sake. This is spicy sodas. This is clay that doesn't need to be right here. In fact, we should have a little bit of a better setup. And in fact, we do. So let's get rid of this clay here. That's not a good spot for it. We take this out. This could be a good place to put a tank of half-fermented sake. At least one of the small ones. I don't know about a medium one, because they do end up drinking it sometimes. But just getting this emptied out is probably a smart move. Now the spicy sodas we had brought over here for the purpose of making the blueprints for the ENS, which, yes, we do still need to actually build and research. But I'm going to go ahead and just put the half-fermented sake in here. So this is going to be accessible to the medical beds in the area. That should help a little bit. And it does say we have 10 injured beavers, so having 3 of these here and then 5 of these here, plus the others over there, should take care of a lot of stuff. Now, mild diseases, we come over here and take a look at actually the correct tab. If we have 4 beds for mild diseases, and they do take bramble flowers, I'm assuming this one's in the other district. It is. We have this one here, we have this one here, we have this one here, and we are making bramble flowers currently right here. So this is probably fine, but we probably, and by probably I mean definitely, should have a few more of these available. So seeing how this is currently set up, I think what's going to make the most sense is to blast this out, put another florist right next to it, so we can have one making bramble flowers and one making berries. And then we have space behind here to either do something else with, or just put a path through to cut through to other spots. I think path through probably makes most of the sense that it could make there. So mild diseases, get those 2 right there. And then at a later point in time, when we actually have the clinic that can handle all the other stuff, then it won't matter as much. Burns. We have 8. 8 beavers with minor burns. I don't know why I clicked on that one. Good job. Come over here to the medical bed for the minor burns. We only have 4 of those, and they don't have any basic balm because we don't have an alchemist making basic balm. And these are kind of spread out all over the place. This one in the other district, this one here, here, here. I've got one here, one here, one here. And I kind of set this up really haphazardly. But since this space already exists, it's open, and it won't require a whole lot of reconfiguring, I can at least put 2 more here. The sunflower oil, big tank there, means this can go away. This isn't attached to anything, so that can also go away. It's not that far to go from here over here, and it's prioritized by haulers, so that should help as well. Let's just keep this simple and put 3 for minor burns right here. And then, of course, we are going to have one of these alchemists making basic balm. So seeing how we have, well, we had at one point a decent amount of nitroglycerin, we do have to have a whole lot more dynamite. One of these is going to have to switch over. And I guess based on how this is currently set up, it's probably going to need to be the one that's making tar. Yeah, then I don't even want to think about all the stuff that has to get brought over for this. I don't really want to make this a permanent thing over here, so maybe that would be better off having an alchemist somewhere else on the map. But for right now, I need to get some basic balm made so that these guys can stop being super burned, so I don't have to have even more beavers to do the jobs we already have. Boy, that's a whole lot. So, what else can we do? Minus what we've been working on. There's not a beaver in here, so no real surprise there. We really need to get more water stored. I know I keep saying that, but we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 mechanized water pumps in the main district, and we have 1 in the other district. We also have this triple watertight lodge that employs haulers that we really don't need to have anymore, and probably could replace this with a building that does something related to power or processing, so on and so forth. But I'm not entirely sure what that should be, so maybe we'll come back to that at a later time. Oh, there's no beaver in the forester. And this district really has 12 empty jobs. Okay, well, let's make the forester a priority. I was wondering why this hadn't been planted very nicely. Very strange. Well, at the very least, this can continue working, even if it is slightly suboptimal. We are drilling out coal, which is good. We need to have a lot more coal storage. I don't want to put anything here because I was going to put another drill in, but that's going to be a lot of blasting before we can get into that, so maybe we need to leave that alone for the time being. Waste rock, dirt, coal storage. Probably... See, I can't really fit anything else here. If I were to remove these stairs, because we can get to it the other way, remove these stairs, I could actually put a large industrial pile here and have the path go over it, but that might be a little bit too complicated. It might be tempting fate just a bit too much. So let's not do that. This is currently trading with the folktales to get exotic seeds. No, it's not. I can't read. We're getting sunflower seeds, which we probably don't need. It's always nice to have them, but I think, hopefully, we should be in a position to actually produce our own of adequate varieties. Yeah, you know what? You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to have these beavers build another water wheel here, because we're pretty much at capacity, and I really would like to put in another one of these mechanized water pumps. These are fantastic. Would be really, really nice to have another one of these somewhere, if I could find a place that would support one. So, all that yapping, 18 minutes and 19 seconds worth, well, on the recording at least. And we haven't really, done too much new stuff. So I would like to try and get as much of this slightly better organized as I can. We have these large warehouses that will hold 648 items. I think that would be a smart thing to use for consumables that are not food. Like we have those things up here, like the metal fasteners and the pine resin. Scaffoldings, we probably aren't going to need to keep 600 something of those around, but definitely the metal fasteners and the pine resin and tools and stuff like that. We're going to want to have good storage for those, and the sooner we can actually build some of this stuff, the better off we're going to be. So I will just go ahead and say we're going to do that, and we're going to do that. Those of you keeping track of how many times I say go ahead, you're going to lose your minds, but by all means continue doing whatever you want to do. I'm not your dad. I just think it's really funny, and now I'm conscious about it. Ooh, you know what we could do? We could get really smart with this. I know I only have so many explosives, and I probably should be using them to do some other stuff. So we'll keep this one in our back pockets for now, but I could blast those 3 dynamites, and then I could put another large industrial pile on the ground level connected to here, and then put one of these large warehouses on top of it. So we'll see. We got options. We probably could put another couple tanks in for lotus flower tea. This is ready to get blown up. And this is right here, this florist building. Very useful building, this. Making the berries is going to be really, really helpful. And then if I want to... No, thank you. If I want to have another 1 or 2 here, I definitely can. These will already be connected. Very, very easily. Bramble flower storage, etc. Super simple to get this operating. We probably could put easier access in here somewhere if we really felt like it, but I don't really think we need to be worrying about that much. Let's prioritize these. Okay, so the contamination is not the same thing. Injured and mild diseases seem to have improved a little bit. Minor burns, not so much. Now we have 12 who are minorly burned. Which one was making basic bomb? Okay, so we do have 12 of that. These, I guess, need to have... Yeah, that one's already prioritized by haulers. That probably helps. Storage for basic balm is something we probably should figure out. Oh, good. This is actually operating. Yes, the regular powered bad water pump is a better building to build, but I wasn't going to be able to put one in a decent location before the bad tide, bad water, whatever, came back. So that's why I did this the way I did it. Hopefully you can understand. Oh, pencil sets definitely could go over here as a third thing. Waiting for logs, which we do not have. Need to get these trees taken out. That is a free thing, if I can remember which one of these does trees. There we go. That'll take care of that. And then this one up here also needs to get removed. A couple of these. This is still contaminated, really. Okay, well I guess that was a waste of space then. So what we can do in these two places here is we can take a look at maybe putting in pit warehouses, or we also have pit tanks that are already researched and might make a little bit more sense. Basic balm, for example, is something we do not have right here, and that would be very helpful. And then I guess nitroglycerin storage also would not be a bad choice. Just, you know, don't drink from the wrong one and you won't have any problems. But I digress. Oh, look at this. Beautiful. We got so many trees. I know this is not irrigated, quote-unquote, correctly. But I think it's still going to be a viable thing. Let's, it's day 9. Well, we know we're going to have at least 3 days. So here's what I will do. Let's do this. Bring these guys around town. Let's make a spot for a floodgate dam to go. And I can take out these right here. And then I can put the floodgate dam right about here once that is removed. They're already getting to work. And I know it's not really the best option to get this ground irrigated, but eventually, on a long enough timeline, water will find its way through here if we prevent it from going anywhere else. See, there it goes. Very slowly. So along the edge of the map here could be a decent location for us to put some watertight buildings, depending on what it is we're wanting to do in this area. But by having water come through here, it's going to slowly irrigate more and more of this land, which means more trees, and just an overall better situation for our beavers. So let's go ahead and start building this floodgate dam. It will probably take them a very long time to construct it, and we may run into issues with not having storage for all of these items in this other district. But that is why we give them the opportunity to fail before we figure out what we need to do. I know that's not the right way to do it, but we got a lot going on. And I would like to get some of this accomplished here. Yeah, we don't have any logs. Don't have any logs. Are these not marked for cutting over here? They are. Okay, I guess, yep, they just hadn't gotten there yet. Okay. Yeah, so there's stuff going on here. This is unpaused, this is unpaused, this is unpaused. I had debated planting some more trees in here. I wanted to see what was going to happen with the florist, how many berries it was going to be producing. But it's every 2 hours you get a single berry for 5 units of water. Wow, okay, that's pretty inefficient. I admittedly did not realize that, but you know how it goes. This medium warehouse here for bramble flowers probably doesn't need to be there if they're just going to immediately get pulled out of here. But this can't hold sawdust, which is what I would have rather put in here instead. So what we'll need to do instead, maybe this makes sense, maybe it doesn't, just bear with me here. I'll put a little pile right here for sawdust. We can always put something else in there, but we need to have sawdust here. Make this a little bit easier. Still have 39 vacancies. And we have 240 beavers. Let's not forget. All sorts of problems here. I remember what I was going to say earlier. We need to get the giant buried tanks going. We have 1,100 science, so I can either choose to unlock one of these, either the door at the top, door at the bottom, or I can unlock the tree nursery. And I know there's been a couple different schools of thought on the tree nursery. Some of you think it's too early. Some of you think it's too late. This should have been done a whole lot earlier. But I think since we don't currently have a great place to put it, and we're about to have a drought, it's unwise to spend the science and the 200 water on getting this thing taken care of. So let's hit pause because it is the start of the drought warning. Let's first check out what is happening over here with this thing. And since it's a drought, it's not going to be that big of a deal because, you know, the bad tide would be immeasurably worse. They're going to be working on this for a while, and that's okay. But a lot of these trees are going to be unwatered, and they're not going to die during a drought in normal mode because it's only 9 days. But that is something we want to, you know, try to stay ahead of. Want to get a little bit more water in here. If we're in a better situation, we probably could have put a Lido in a water dump to keep this thing filled up. But you know how it goes. So that is a non-issue. Hey, look, we got the cluster of racks here mid-lunch. Oh yeah, these things. So the giant buried tank, we have entrance from the top or the bottom. We have options. Oh, check the billboard for help. The billboards have been deprecated, so I can't check the billboard for help. Fortunately, I already know how these work. You see the construction here. They have to have earth on the sides. So we need a 3x3x3 alcove or a pit. But this one is 400 science instead of 500. And the recipe is slightly cheaper. 10 fewer planks, 10 fewer metal fasteners, 10 fewer tar. So if I can find a place to put this, this would be a great thing for us to have. But there's not that many spots where this makes sense without doing terraforming. And that is not something I am particularly looking forward to doing. However, right here is 3x3 by 2 with a little bit on the outside. So obviously it's not going to play nice if I have these things here, which that's the way it is. But somewhere around here we're probably going to find a place where it's not completely terrible. Like, for example, right about here. If we just detonated a little bit around this, we might be fine. Remember, I wanted to put these large warehouses here. So if I continued that this way, then that would leave a little bit of an unfortunate space here. Now, I will demolish that, just trying to get an idea where might make sense. Yeah, because you want the 3x3 with land or some sort of supporting structure on either side. This right here, we need to keep track of what is going to happen when the elevator to the abyss goes in. Because if you remember, I can't build this right now, but this has stuff. Yeah, I know. This has stuff that attaches to the side, right, like so. Yeah, it just goes in kind of like this to the outside. So we can't build right up next to this. We have to have space here, 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 all four sides more or less. So putting something in this little alcove wasn't going to work anyway, and I should have realized that. The only other place that might really work would be over here. But to be perfectly honest with you, I think it's probably just going to make the most sense to dig a hole and shove it in there. Which, of course, is something that takes time. Which, speaking of, basic nuclear reactor that seals off a bad water source. This would be a great place to put that. Absolutely fantastic. We just have to have the 4,000 science to unlock it, and we have to have the PhD in nuclear physics, which I'm pretty sure is what that is, yeah. Which is the thing from the ENS, and we also have to be making nuclear waste. Well, how do you make nuclear waste? I'm so glad you asked. I just have to remember where the building is in this mod. There is Centrifuge takes nuclear waste and turns it into nuclear fuel, but we still have to get nuclear waste. And that, I'm pretty sure, has to come from the Abyss with a nuclear waste mining expedition center. So, yes, all of this is still locked behind the elevator to the Abyss. And yes, the glowing fluid that you see here is one of those things that has to come from the Firefly grooming station. And yes, the frozen human meat is one of the things that has to get fed to the Fireflies. So everything in the Waterbeavers, remember, it's a super, super complex, convoluted, interwoven, absolute mess of dependencies, if that even makes sense. We got a long way to go before we can get to that kind of nuclear power. So, what does that mean for everything I just said? Basically nothing, but if we want to have large storage, we're going to have to find a pit, have to find somewhere where this is going to make sense, and just put it there. And it's not going to be simple. It's much easier to just blast a hole than to try to fill something in. So we'll have to keep our eye on that. I know this has been paused for a couple minutes now. We've basically accomplished nothing. But what I wanted to do was try to get as much water as possible stored. We're a full 1,000 below our capacity. And these guys, of course, are still going. We have to have the haulers take stuff out. And I think we should have enough of those, but let's just check. Yep, we got 10 there. Probably should build a couple more of those things instead of all these different buildings here. But it is what it is. Not really anything we can do. Just wanted to keep some sort of eye on what we were accomplishing here. All these incapacitated beavers, man. Always something. But now that we got a couple of these deep water pumps going. Probably should have a couple more of those going, in all honesty. The paper. Paper. We definitely want to have paper, so that's fine that that's going. Nobody in here, which is fine because this would consume a whole lot of paper. Not having power during the drought is really, really unfortunate. We have a limited amount of metal we can do. We really need to be making more anvils. I know I already have one, but I want to have a couple more of those. Do I want to have another laboratory glassware? Because we do have 3 days to make something. See, the laboratory glassware is the only one I really don't have, but drill bits get tuned through quickly. I do have 7 in here, so I guess that's probably okay. Maybe the metal blocks is the best recipe for now. And we just need to find a way to put another factory in somewhere. Now, factories can be stacked. We've talked about this. If I can remember where the blasted thing is. I can put another one of these right up here, and we have the ability to make that work. We just have to be able to get inside of it. And actually, that's not such a bad thing to have that right there, because then we have water flowing through here. We could also put some wheels in. Let's go ahead and do that. Let's go ahead and put one of these in here. And since we have ladders, this is going to get a whole lot easier. That should being the operative term, end up making a lot of sense. I know I can't put anything this way because that's the little expansion thing. But that would probably be one of the best things we could do right here. Just have to be able to get this power shaft put in. And if we're about to have a, power outage drought situation, that would not be that hard to just replace this before this gets finished with one of these. So let's do that. Let's do that before we get too cute here. Now, why in the world? Okay, 2 logs. Oh, I really could use those logs though, but it's way off. Okay, I'm never gonna get those out of there. Too far from the district. Well, fortunately, the ladder will get built first. Let's be smart. And I'm going to go ahead and do, so there you go. I'm going to put another one of these vertical T-intersections here, just because I can. And I know I'm probably going to want it later. Now the other fun thing is you can't get rid of this blockage without replacing it with some sort of solid structure. But since it's about to be a drought, this could be our best chance to do so. You can put a levee, if you get rid of this blockage, you can put a levee attached to this piece of dirt here. Ignore this being red, and then you can build on top of that like it was solid, which would mean we could put in water wheels up here. Or at least one, without things getting too crazy. That might be worth, might be worth having up there. It would generate a decent amount of HP. Even just a little bit. Even just that little bit would help. But as it stands now, this is plenty. Put that there. How are we doing on this? I do not expect this to be... Oh, they're so slow. So slow it's almost pitiful. You know what? I'm going to throw them a bone. I'm going to put stairs there. And just have this go out to here. They should be able to build from that. That's going to cut the trip distance substantially. How are we doing on trees grown here? 87%. Very good. These won't grow. Some of these up here won't grow much more in the next, maybe 9 days because they're not going to be irrigated, but a decent portion of them will, and then with that, we'll be able to finally get a lot of this stuff taken care of. What is this waiting on? Planks? Don't tell me we're out of planks. That can't be possible. Oh, we're out. Okay, I made a mistake. I didn't do crude saw blades. See, this is why. This is why we need to have more primitive ironworks. They already put the anvil in this one. Okay, well. That was a little bit of a missed opportunity. I suppose I could have made another one of these primitive ironworks first. But having more factories is going to be better long term. We'll just have to have one of these which isn't running because this isn't connected, because this isn't done, because there's no planks, because this wasn't making crude saw blades. Oh boy. See how easily this gets out of hand? As it always does. That's the way it goes. The good news is, we have 5,700 drinkable fluid. Of course, this is waiting on planks. Everything's waiting on planks, man. Everything is waiting on planks. And these numbers haven't really improved that much from the beginning of the episode. Now I feel like an idiot. But we have storage for metal fasteners. Hooray! Where else? Oh, wow, there's a mess. What an absolute mess. Let's check here. Mini crappy warehouses. We need to start replacing all of those. Okay, this crappy warehouse for metal fasteners being right here, I guess is okay. I guess, but we probably should have that somewhere else. Let's raise this so we don't lose all of our water out of here. Alright, 8-day drought. That's fine. It'll be okay. But once this comes out of here, assuming... Again, you know what happens when you assume. There's no planks. Which, we have a choice. This, if we get a little bit more scrap metal, can make some crude saw blades. But that's going to require... That should have been paused anyway, that we pause everything connected to power besides the rudimentary sawmills. And these aren't going to be running anyway because they have no water. Or they don't have enough water. This one will keep running unless I pause it. So we should... We're only drawing 500 HP. What 500 HP is drawing here? Because none of these should be working anymore. Is that this? Not anymore. That is paused. Okay, I know this isn't running. That's taking 50. So this 50 with this 50 plus this 400 should have got us to the 500. Yes. Okay, so now we're drawing 100 HP. We do not have crude saw blades, so we probably should turn that off. Why am I so worried about that? Because we have gravity batteries. That will be very useful if and only if we can, maintain the level of charge, so to speak, that they have. So, for the time being, we will pause the primitive, rudimentary, blah, 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 whatever sawmills, so no power is being consumed. And now we have homeless beavers absolutely everywhere. And by absolutely everywhere, I mean we have 14 of them. What do we do with the homeless beavers? Well, I was kind of hoping we could get this copyist lodge going here, but you know what? I only see 3 vacancies in this district. That means we have 12 in this district. We don't have extra housing for them unless I open up this cooking house, which I could then send some extra beavers to. Or I could open up this triple watertight lodge, and then these would be extra haulers, which we kind of don't need. What a concept, huh? Well, we need the wood. And some of these are about to get cut down. They'll be okay there. That is still waiting very, very, very slowly. What a mess. What a mess I have gotten myself into. Okay, so I got 14 extra beavers in the main district. I have 12 job vacancies here. If we go to 36 in District 2, then we should see... Now we have 12 homeless beavers here, but the thing is equalized. And now I have 16 vacancies, but I have 14 incapacitated beavers. So if we can ever manage to get all of this figured out, we're probably going to be okay. Let's roll with this. Let's do cooking house. That can't use the bramble flowers that they aren't getting to make anything, but it's better than nothing. And then we have these 9 homeless beavers. I guess we'll just open that up. That should help. And then maybe that's it. I could just open this and have this be completely whatever, so now there's no homeless beavers. And they're just, figuring their lives out. At least we aren't going to have to worry about weird imbalances, and now we just have the 18 in here. But remember, we have buildings that don't require beavers to operate, so it's honestly probably fine. Now, where does that leave us with all this other stuff that we've been talking about? I'm honestly not that sure. But that can be gone, which will solve one of those problems. We do have storage for pine resin here. The rest of the pine resin, we've actually had a pretty large storage of somewhere else, and I don't remember where that is. So now we get to look for it. Okay, 36 pine resin here. This probably doesn't need to be right here. That's not an ingredient in the library. So, if that gets set to empty, or I could just say that, then in the middle we could take this and put something a little bit more useful, whatever that might be. So I'm kind of struggling to think of what might make sense to have over here. What are we even storing over here? We got mushrooms, we got rice, berries here, not really doing anything. I wonder if it would make sense to have pollution resistance factor over here, just so the beavers can do whatever. Technically this could also use it, but it doesn't really need to. Okay, pine resin, pine resin, pine resin. Ah, this does not need to be there. That could just go completely away because we want to get rid of those little ones anyway. Hey, this pine resin we know we need for this, so that's fine. Anything else from pine resin? This is our main storage. Okay. Well, that was worth doing. That was worth tracing and seeing what we can, see here. Pollution resistance factor here at 216 probably could use a slightly larger one. This log storage, we have other log storage over here. I'm going to go ahead and empty this. That can go away. The sawdust storage, is this all full? It is, okay. Well, I do want to get rid of that, so I will set that to empty. Remember, we're trying to clean out all these, you know, stupid things here. Rice balls, rice balls, rice balls. Everybody and their moms got rice balls. Okay, that's done. That's done. Mountain salt. What about salt storage? Okay, I've got a bigger one somewhere else, but I think that is probably... Okay, that's making this stuff. Wow, look at this! We got 1,600 braised cabbages. Mountain salt. Okay, what's this one making? Okay. I think this is a waste of space here. I could easily put a couple more things. So, chestnuts. We're not even using the chestnuts over here. Screw press axle storage. I guess that's fine. I'm just gonna put cabbages here. We can always have more cabbages. Probably not a bad idea. Incremental improvements, folks. I gotta get these rice balls out of here, though. That is not an ideal food source. Alright. So I think I'm gonna have to find a spot somewhere over here to put my rice balls. Or at the very least, stick them somewhere else. This is not very useful land right here currently. So why don't... And I know we don't have planks. I could, you know, I can have them make the tooth cut planks, but I can't get behind putting that in here. Regular pile for planks. See, there's so much optimization we could do. We just haven't done. Just have not done. And that is also not really a great place for planks anyway, so that can go away. Is this still waiting on planks? Yes, alright. Enough is enough. Sawdust, no, you're making planks. And these guys aren't working in here anyway. They're already set to planks. I guess that's fine, but we'll let them do what they gotta do. Grab this sawdust out of here whenever that gets finished. I gotta do something about these rice balls. See, because I was gonna blast this whole thing all the way down too, and I just didn't do it. So maybe because rice balls are such a prolific thing, I probably should just put a warehouse over here to hide them away just in case. Sure. Let's just do that. And then I can empty these two out. Those can go away. These can go away. These can go away. We'll slowly get everything figured out. And then I've got space here that I need to have able to be used for warehouse support. So I don't want to fill this in with anything. I feel like that would be kind of a waste. Yeah, definitely would be a waste of wood. So what if... Oh, I don't have any of these researched anyway. Huh. What about tanks? One of these. Covered tank. Yeah, there you go. Oh, that's 20. That's 25 logs. That says 12. So why is this complicated? Why is this like this? Well, it's working out okay. We only have 5 days left. We got plenty of water, plenty of food. Could definitely be worse. These gravity batteries still have plenty of charge, and I actually have 7 crude saw blades. So, open that guy back up and get these guys in here. Make some planks, get some logs if I even have any. Which these should... Oh, they already cut these down. That's okay. That's a problem. That, they've been putting these logs in places where I definitely wanted them to use it, but now I have a problem because I don't have any logs. Who else can I get logs from? See, I don't want to cut these trees down because then that's going to cause other issues. Can't reach this. Can't reach any of this. What a dilemma. There is, you know, there's trees over here. There's trees over here. If I were truly desperate, which we might as well be actually desperate at this point, I suppose I could get this staircase built with the planks that we're making and importing, and definitely not shoving into the floodgate dam that can now be paused. That might be helpful. This storage for logs probably needs to be turned into a regular industrial storage. Industrial pile, but I don't have the resources to do it. We'll get there. We'll get there, but if this gets built, then I've got all of these trees can get cut down. Lumberjack farm, barn, whatever, should be able to get to at least some of these. That should help. A little bit. Alright, let's trace what's using planks. Something tells me it's not using that many and I just have a terrible supply, but... Okay, 7 buildings using planks. These are... well, they can't run. This making gears, I guess that's fine. These are making the scaffoldings, which, you know, we do still need to have plenty of those. I guess it's okay. I guess it's okay. We got 4 days left. Oh, so we have enough power to run both of these. That should be fine. It's all about the trees, man. All about the trees. Just as soon as you can get yourself some planks. Oh, and now the problem here is we got a bunch of dirty beavers who don't want to work because there's no water to bathe themselves in. What a shame. If only they could come over here and partake in the maybe clean, maybe not clean, but good enough waters. Yeah, maybe that's a thing. Hey, well, you know, we have cabbages. That's got to help for something. Oh, these guys can't reach anything else. Because this is... okay. Alright, let's... because I know eventually this is going to have one of those nuclear reactors on it. Let's take this overhang off. I can put in a spiral staircase, and then they'll be able to get to this. That maybe will help. Okay, let's try this. I know it's planks I don't have. But this will help us get there. Slowly, but it will help us get there. Once we actually have planks, and these guys can, you know, produce something every 4.2 hours. They make 1. It's fine. This is waiting on 2 planks, and then all those rice balls can go in there, and we're going to get this area cleaned up real nice. I do want to blast this down here. Obviously, you can't blast this down. We just have to leave space 1 around it, but the rest of this can all come down. This is going to make this area a whole lot easier. And depending on how hard we want to go with this, we might even be able to take this all down to this same level and get a lot of utility out of our irrigation lodges. How's that sound? Sounds like I got to sneeze. Thank you, mute button. Fantastic work. Never break, please. But I digress. As soon as we get 2 planks here, we should be able to empty most of these rice balls. This pollution resistance factor also should probably have a storage over here, and since the pine resin's is not taking care of it, that's what I'm going to do there. And that it's going to make it so much easier just to go ahead and get this out of here. We can have pine resin go somewhere else. All in due time. Look at these guys go. Now that's out of there. Look at that. Look at that. We're making so much progress. You love to see it. What was going in here? Balloons? Don't need those. No, okay, the blueprints, that's something we're going to have to solve at some point, but for now, as soon as we have planks, we'll be able to take care of that. These guys, of course, aren't working. This is full of sawdust, which means it cannot be done anything with, but I guess I'll just have to make this regular sawdust here. Regrettably, we do want them to be able to make planks. That was a little bit of an oversight on my part. Down to 1,000 water, that is fine. Gonna have this stuff come up here first. I really needed this to be taken care of during this drought. What a shame, huh? Well, we're making the planks here. There's not that much stuff, including construction, that's going to use it, so we should see. Yeah, there we go. So as soon as this one's, excuse me, as soon as this one's done, I can have this, this, and this taken care of. And then I don't need to have the rest of that put in before we have the water come back, but it sure would be nice. Would be very, very... Oh, hey, you know what? I forgot I had ladders, stairs, whatever going up in here. it would probably be easier for me to get down here. Let's go with that. Because I have scaffoldings. Yeah, this is just going to be so much simpler. Yeah, that's going to be the best way to do this. Also, clean water is not going to hurt anybody. I'm just going to come down here, take this blockage out, put a levee in place, and then I can build a power thing up here. I want to keep this open in case I want to stack a third one on top of this. But now they can do that, which of course requires scaffolding. Everything requires everything else. We've been through this. They can't bathe in the river anymore. No surprise there. Okay, plank's still coming out. I wonder where these are going to end up going, because I have so many things. Oh, these, I didn't turn these off. That was a mistake. Well, 1.7 days it shouldn't... Oh, this is already cooked. 1.7 days shouldn't kill all these. If it does, then, well, that is, I guess, something I deserve. Now, what is this waiting... Oh, it's waiting on clay, and the clay isn't claying because I had it getting gold panning accomplished, which, hey, I got 6 pieces of gold, but we need this other stuff. We need this other stuff pretty bad. So I guess that floodgate dam can go all the way down now. None of this matters anymore. We're getting all these pieces put in. Yeah, we're doing okay. I will need to have this connected here. Then run this down here a little bit. See, we're getting stuff done. We're accomplishing things, even if it's just a little bit dumb. We're working on it. Okay, this is... Oh, of course, clay. How did I not know? I really should have built a 4th alchemist, and I think we're going to need to at some point, but... You know how it goes. You know how it goes. Just gotta take it one step at a time. Now, not having this levee in place... Oh, of course, it requires clay. Yep, see, there you go. Kiss of death. That and the 45 logs it takes, but... Not really gonna get much of anything else done in here. Well, at least we have crude saw blades. Does this still have charge in it? Surprisingly, yes. Alright, well that's better news. Paper storage there. This should be somebody coming up here to do this, right? Maybe? Oh, maybe I shouldn't be waiting here for that. Let's see what was happening over here. Oh, good. Now, see, now they can come up here. Stand on the stairs and start picking that thing apart. Okay, I see you. One of them's inside this whole thing. I didn't think they could do that. Well, I'm glad that worked. We can probably... Well, once this is all taken care of, I'm definitely taking all of those out. We'll get there when we get there. Still working on all this. Alright, so that's been removed. Now this levee can go here. This blockage here, I think, is probably going to be required just so all of the water doesn't flood this way, and especially when bad water comes out of this thing. Boy, you're not going to want to be caught in that. Now, before this gets put in place, let's think here. No, that's not the right one, you idiot. Okay, that going there would have to have, if we had a 3rd factory on top of this, would have to be set like that, which would then mean it could go on top of the building, or it would have to go to the left, and then it would have to... Okay. Yeah, because the Waterbeavers do not have the universal thing. What to do, what to do. Well, see, this would work great if I didn't also have to have a provision for this to be attached up here. So I think probably what's going to make the most sense is to build one of these up here, and then from atop that, do one of these. I know this is probably not going to make sense to a lot of you. However, consider the following. It's the only thing I can think of to do. So... Okay, I think... Yeah, I'm gonna have to give them a spiral staircase to get on top of this mess. In case if you didn't think this could get any worse. Oh boy. Well, it's fine. This only guess what? It only needs clay. How could I have underestimated the importance of clay? Well, guess what? These guys are going to be doing at absolute turbo speed by the time we get all this water back. Oh, I'm just glad we have food. To be perfectly honest with you. Oh, I forgot this. This doesn't have any irrigation because of how this was set up. All right, you gotta be kidding! After all that, I still have. Oh, sheesh. Okay, what's in here? Mushrooms. Okay, those platforms can definitely go away. I have half a mind to just get rid of these rice balls by putting them on the ground, but tends not to be a popular choice here. I'll tell you what, let's just do what we can here and blast away what we can blast away. Yeah, you know what? I'm not going to feel bad. I'm absolutely not going to feel bad about blasting this out and just leaving it on the ground. All right, what kind of nonsense have we gotten to here? We got everything except the clay. Yep, big surprise. These things are, yep, they're still doing all right. See, now I have a lot of incapacitated beavers, probably because they're dirty. Maybe not so many the other way around. Good. Get that stuff in there. It's going to make sense eventually. You just trust the process. Even if it seems completely insane, just, trust the process. Alright, so those are going to be pumping again soon. Those actually lasted pretty nicely. Can't be upset about that. Trees here looking okay. Yep. Planks and tar. We're not currently making tar. Remember what I said about having to have another one of these alchemists, because this was making basic balm, which we still don't really have enough to do anything with. We still have a whole bunch of burns, so maybe that's fine. Nitroglycerin, sunflower oil, this was out of service because it didn't have power going through it. Okay, that's probably fine. Got water coming through here, water coming through here. Kind of weird backflowing, not flowing, whatever, but alright. Yeah, this is definitely weird. We got to get the clay in here. But this can't have anything else done to it until this is in place, and that's going to have to be in place before I can build this, because I have to have something that goes on this. Oh boy. Alright. Where's my clay beavers? Alright, do your work. Do your work, boys and girls. We got a limited amount of time. Limited amount of time to get this accomplished. At least this is working again. What an ambitious plan, huh? And by plan, I mean I definitely didn't even think about how this is supposed to work. Okay, definitely need more primitive ironworks. This needs to be changed to anvil immediately. It also needs to be unpaused. That would probably help. Water-wise, I know that the conventional wisdom is don't take them out of the water pumps, but these are not the fast ones, so that's probably okay. I'm trying to prevent population growth, if at all possible, and I know I have to have these guys working in here. Oh, guess what? That needs clay, too. Everything needs clay! How are we, okay, that's not even close. Alright. I'm going to have to build additional clay pits in places where I can put them. What am I supposed to do about that? Just don't really have a convenient spot to put these things. I guess I could put another one here. Do I have scaffolding? Technically yes, so that will have to do. Oh, it has to be built on the ground. Alright, oh, those are deep water pumps. Those are good ones. That's not. Alright. Okay, this might not have been the smartest thing I've ever done. Sure, okay. Well, these things have been mostly paused anyhow. I guess it's okay. I guess. Alright, we have the clay coming in there. I really should have had one of these a long time ago. We've got some dynamite here, boys and girls. That's going to be fun exploding time. Hopefully. Alright, rice ball is being emptied. This is still full. This is still full. It's hopelessly full. Why is it so full? I guess it's just gonna have to make sense to put this over here. If it doesn't make sense, sorry. But it's gonna be for the best. It's gonna have to be for the best. Alright, that's I'll just go ahead and pause this so the numbers don't look quite as bad. That's probably fine. Yeah, let's just pause those. Try to claw back some sort of productivity here. B for boom. Alright, now I can finally put this other clay pit in. Okay. Let's go. Let's get something going here. Everything needs clay. Oh my god, everything. Absolutely everything has needed clay. You cannot clay fast or hard enough. Let's go. Get those numbers up. We at least making power here? Oh, yes, we are. And none of these things are really running. Okay. I guess I can turn that back on. That's fine. I don't need to have that terrain block there, but it's not hurting anything being set like it is. These could be industrial piles, easily, but that's not what I'm focusing on at the moment. One piece of clay at a time. Let's go. Let's go. Get this thing finished. We have clay to get. Everything will be fine if we could just get a little more clay. Please and thank you. I know this has to seem just absolutely stupid, but hey, it is what it is. Get a little bit more in here. 5 more pieces. I know it's already day 3, but we've got a pretty good amount of food. Liquids are looking okay. Is this all here? It is, except this one piece, which is just about done. Alright, that's done, which means that, which means I can put another one of these. I bet you can't guess what's going to go in this bad boy. If you guessed rice balls, you win absolutely nothing, because I don't have any prizes to hand out. But that's what's going in here, so I can get at least this thing emptied out. Yeah, that one's not marked for emptying. I really want to get this completely removed so I could try something to get this fixed a little bit better. Can't say we're not trying. All right, one more piece of clay. Oh, is this you? Thirsty beaver swimming? There you go. Good job. I'm proud of you. But I'm not that proud. Go drink something, come back. We got stuff to do. Stuff to do. And now this needs 50 clay. I told you the clay, man. It's an impossible task keeping all of this stuff. Alright, that's done. Good. Now I can finally come in. Oh boy, with the upward power shaft and the downward power shaft and the blah 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 blah. All of this to put a single water wheel right here. All of that just for that. Oh, but we're going to be glad we had that when we have a bad tide come in. It's going to help a lot. So I think we can leave that alone for a little bit. Wow, they built that quick. This is empty. You better empty this as much as you can. Put in this dynamite. We are getting so close. Alright, so that's going to be full. Just about. Okay, that's full. Whatever's left in here, guess what? It's going to get picked up at some point, and I don't have the patience to deal with it anymore, so that's just going to disappear. And by disappear, I mean get picked up at some other point in time. And I'm glad we had all of this explosive here. That was good. That was a very smart thing. Now we just have to have all of this taken out. Remember, we're leaving one around the outside for the expansions to the Abyss. And then everything else, well, maybe not this backside. Maybe we can leave that alone. But everything else is going to be just fine. In fact, we could start putting a third stack of industrial piles over here. I think that sounds fantastic, don't you? You don't have a response to that? That's okay. But I'm going to need to put something over here. Not optional. I mainly want to have somewhere to stick all this mountain salt. They'll take their sweet time to... Oh, that was already had somewhere to go? Okay, cool. Yep, just get these last couple pieces in here. The sawdust is technically still accessible, so we don't need to worry about it. Just need to get that out. And then... Oh, there's one here that is now able to be exploded. Don't you love it when a plan comes together? Okay, we still only have 1,300 water. Gotta get more water pumped. Gotta get more water stored. I guess this is alright. Okay, so this is done. Now, the final piece for right now is to just put that there. Remember that this is already set for a third factory here if we decide that is going to be the smart thing to do. This piece here is going to allow a single water wheel, and at a later time we maybe could put something else here if we felt so inclined. But that would require putting actual terrain here, and that would be a very slow process. The smarter thing to do probably would be to just divert way upstream, but this is what we can do with what we have. And that is generally how we've always tried to do things here. So I still need 34 clay for this. The clay never ends, but at least we have this. We have this florist here that can make berries. Very slowly, but still make berries. Now, how many of these 20 capacity viewers are? The burns. The burns are the problem. Burns, 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 which is why I need the basic balm, which is why I need the clay. Oh, never enough clay. Never, ever, 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 ever enough clay. Just do me the kindness of having this in here. I'm going to have to end this episode soon, and I want something to actually get accomplished in this. I say as I sit here, aimlessly, waiting for the power shaft T intersection to be completed. At least we're making tons of power. You know, I wish I had a better place to put a gravity battery. Which I now realize this right here would have been a tremendous place to put a gravity battery. In fact, it's not too late. Something whip it into shape, whatever. Good song. I think this would work. The regular gravity battery... Obviously, I don't have nuclear fuel yet. I'll tell you what. I'm going to humor you guys. Do me a solid here. And appreciate it. I'm gonna do it. I'm going to do this right here. I'm pretty sure they can still reach it. They should be able to. This will not go all the way down, but it's going to have a pretty decent capacity, as is. And it will transmit power through itself. I hope. We're going to find out. But that, I figured, was a much better way to use that space versus whatever nonsense we had before. We have the materials. It's not going to be a problem. It's just maybe going to take a little bit of time. So, that's fine. Keep in mind, this entire time, we've also had the mechanized kitchen houses both paused. That was my mistake. That should not have happened. But now that's unpaused, they can get back to work mechanizing and kitchening and whatever else it is happens in those. Still don't have nearly enough clay for all of this. Oh, I'm so glad I remembered that this was a thing that could happen. Oh, I'm so excited to see what the capacity of this is going to be. I probably should know, but I don't. Oh, we have an anvil. We actually have storage for more. Is it making more? It should be. Oh, yes, it needs clay, of course. How could I forget? Yeah, okay. 60,000. You know what? Okay. I'll give it to you. This is a whole lot better. I mean, I knew it was better. But for some reason, my brain just neglected to remember just how better it was. So, that, thankfully, was a smart decision. These here could also be replaced with regular gravity batteries, but we do not presently have enough metal for that to be a thing. And this is, yes, waiting on additional clay. I know, I can't believe it either. Nothing has ever needed clay in this playthrough, especially not this episode. But we're making progress. We're getting there, and guess what, friendos? It's time for B for Boom. Oh, no, 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 no. You made a bad choice. Who are you? Who are you? Click on the beaver. You dingus. You almost got blown up. Didn't somebody ever tell you not to, you know, play around in a minefield? Make better choices, young one. Turn around. Turn around. There you go. Good job. We're all proud of you. Okay, now we can actually blow this up. Look at all that space. Isn't it beautiful? And I still have some explosives left. I do think I want to have this whole thing blasted down one more level, which we currently cannot do because we don't have enough nitroglycerin. But we are making more, and then we are making more explosives. It just, you know, takes some time. But this has been a great, great, great start to that. Of course, we'll have to relocate all the scroll displays and a couple of other things, but, you know, I can't be mad. Cannot be mad about this. Where's my mushroom storage? That can absolutely be emptied. We'll need to build a scroll display gallery somewhere else. But for now, I think this is about as good as it's going to get. I can empty this out, get rid of it. That's tremendous progress, folks. It might not seem like it, but it definitely is. We have to celebrate the wins as they come. Alright, 11 more clay for this. And then I already forgot everything else that was using clay, but I'm sure it's some sort of dumb thing. Alright, B for boom. Good, 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 good. Excellent, even. So these come out 5 at a time. Yeah, let's make sure I don't need to explode anything else before we get too cute over here. Let's unpause this floodgate dam because I do want this to be a thing when we have a bad tide. Which, that's going to kill most of these trees, but that's probably fine. At least we have wood now. It was a little dicey for a while. Okay, so this isn't mining anything because we don't have anything to do with the dirt. So, you know, after all that, if we can find places we'd like to place actual dirt, including but not limited to this little aqueduct here, then we're going to need to do that sooner rather than later. We just need them to tell us whether we're going to have a drought or a bad tide next. Because if it's a drought, then yeah, I will take one of these blockages out and I will have them start working on a dirt block. Because it's 1,000 dirt and we have 700 stored. It would take a really, 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 really long time to get them up here, but it wouldn't be that impossible. It would just be a little annoying. So, for the record, the paper mill here, we could stack. That is always an option. It just might be a little weird. So let's, yeah. So when you do this, you cut off the ladder right there. But it wouldn't be that difficult for us to get another another stack of ladders moved over somewhere else to get up there. But we don't have to put a paper mill here. We can. There's other stuff we can do, but just keeping our options open. I would like to kind of vertically integrate stacks whenever possible. Just have to, you know, take our time with all of this stuff. Not rush anything, because you know bad things happen when you rush. Come get that plank. There we go. Let's put in the water wheel we did all of this for. I'm very interested to see how much power this generates. Okay, otherwise, how are we doing here? I guess this is fine. Okay, tar is going to become a problem. The floodgate dam fancy blueprints we have 11 of. That's not a problem, but importing into this district might be. I don't remember building storage for blueprints before, so maybe that's not a thing. But we definitely need to start making some more tar. That is a thing for sure. It's just unfortunate because guess what? The clay is required to make basic balm. Okay, we're not going to have that for a while. Let's just switch this back over to tar. Because we know we can use that. We know without the shadow of a doubt we can make use of that. That will be fine. Get that pile out of here. Oh, I love this so much. Actually making progress is absolutely heartwarming. We need to keep this level at the very least, so go down 1 only, and that will protect us from having the poison in here. There's also other ideas that I thought were smart, is we could actually completely box in this area here with something on this side, whether it's terrain or buildings or something, and then that would make this growable land if we decided to irrigate it. Or we could go one step further and then here, or even underneath this thing, put something to block so that, you know, this would still get bad water. We could put one of the powered ones maybe somewhere over here, and then it would all just go out this side of the map. Because this is basically just overflow here. But that might be something we want to get to a little bit later. Just have to see what we can see. Do what we can do. You know how it goes. So this needs to have a path. Now we have storage for mountain salt. And this is complete. Okay. The rated amount is 90. We know it's probably going to be higher than that, but what is it? That is the gravity battery. 177. Okay. That's actually really good. I'm pretty happy with that. So let's prepare for stupidity here and put in a large pile for dirt. Just so we can have almost 1,000 stored and we can have more of it brought up here. Because I do like the idea of having this, you know, set up in a way that will allow us to have additional power run through this channel. That would be fantastic. Just have to, you know, maybe be a little bit smarter with how stuff goes. I see the clay problem is starting to resolve itself. Very slowly. Where is my clay storage? 216. Okay, I don't really care. I just need to have more clay being made, but I need to have the tar first. I know this episode's getting long, bear with me. Trying to make sure we're setting everyone up for as much success as possible. Which I know might seem kind of an impossible ask sometimes, but we'll be alright. We'll be alright. Don't forget how much stuff we've got accomplished today. It's actually been pretty impressive. Got 18 explosives. Let's start. Let's start by taking these 2 contaminated beaver gels out and start working our way in this way. Let's do that. I know we can put all of these in at the very least. That's empty, so that's already an easy problem to solve. Come back to that at some point in time. Food's looking great. Water's looking mostly good. Again, I do want to put another one of these in here. I just have to probably blast this out to do it. Or, you know what? It would be easier to do it here. But I'm going to have to get this tree out. Okay, let's do that. I love these spiral staircases so much. Absolutely, absolutely. Let's get that out of there. This will need to be a triple. I don't even know if that's still a meme or not, but let's do a double for now. Let's take this out, take this out. This is already out. That goes, that goes, that goes. Then this will need to be a double when it's done and another single when that's done. So we don't quite have enough dynamite to make this happen right now, but it will be okay. Now, I can hear you say, what about when we have a bad tide come through here? What are you going to do about that? Well, here's what's going to happen, is this is going to get blasted out, because water can still flow underneath this, no problem. We put this in place, and then I'll blast these two out here, and maybe one more here so the level goes down below, and then I will have the ability to have a pathway through here with minimal interference, and the water can harmlessly flow underneath if it is a bad tide. Blast that out. Blast that out as a double. I know this is flooding everything here. It's going to be fine. Don't worry about it. Just trust the process. Our favorite phrase ever. Blast that out. Blast that out. Don't forget this also has to go away, but this is what currently connects us across here. So have to be a little careful. Oh no, they can still go that way. They can still go that way. All right, now we're cooking with gas. Let's get this out of here. This could be there. These are both ready to go. B for boom. Yes. Yes, 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 yes. I love it when a plan comes together. Oh, I'm not gonna blast this out yet. I have to get this blasted down. Which that'll be its own challenge. That needs to not be a double because of what I just realized. That needs to be a single, so I can get in here and blast all of this out, which we will do just like so. Make that as well. This could actually be a double here. I have way more dynamite being put down than I can actually do anything with, but the real secret now is, though, I can start building another mechanized water pump. And it's already connected. How about that? How about that? Is it going to flood? Absolutely. But is it going to flood forever? Nope, because we're going to solve all of our problems. So I've got 5 dynamite here, and I've got all of these. I can just pull this out of the ground. How much nitroglycerin do I have? Not that much. And it is being made very slowly. This is not prioritized by haulers like the other ones are. Actually, no, only that first one was. Okay. Well, that should help a little bit. But in the interest of speeding this up, I'm going to just say, you know what? Come and grab all of this dynamite I already put down. Grab that and do something else with it. And by something else, I mean come over here. Okay. That actually was reachable. I'm surprised. Now it is slightly less of a problem. That can go there. This was reachable. Now it is blasted. Like goldfish. Flavor blasted. I also see some issues here. I should have blasted this out and that out. Well, we still kind of have an opportunity to do that here. I guess I probably should leave this out as well, but I think it'll be okay. That should solve our flooding there. Okay, now I can actually blast this out. Now they can get in and put all of this in place here. Double dynamite. This needs to be a double dynamite. That going down here should be fine. That should be plenty of flow. That should get us here. That should be okay there once this goes underneath. I'm really hoping at the very least. Alright, how are we doing over here? Not even close. Not even close. Scrap metal needs some help. I know we have one of these here that needs maybe a couple of companions. Oh, this is still paused. That should never have been paused. That was a mistake. Okay. That's actually a pretty costly mistake. Well, my misplaced zeal often does do this to me. We should be able to get this finished pretty quick. Oh, scrap metal. Scrap metal, you betrayed me. Oh, this is already an hour and a half. Oh, yikes. Well. there is some scrap metal left here. There's some down here we're probably never going to get, but at least this works. I'm just going to go ahead and pause those two so we don't have that leak out. See, now that this is going to be a drought, this isn't quite as important of a thing. That is unfortunate. Well, I guess all we can do now is... Okay, yeah, having this extended up in a drought isn't going to save anything anyway. Let's just pause construction on this, then go do something else. These trees... Oh, not all of them were marked. Alright, cool. That problem gets kind of solved, I suppose. So that's all of the stuff that could be reached here. I guess that's fine. Maybe I could put a couple of flags up here to get the rest of that, but I don't think we're that worried about it anymore. I love watching this trebuchet go. It's just fun. It's just fun. Alright, see, but now I've invested so much into this. I want this to actually work here. Okay, I can't blast that off yet. I have to have that double dynamite, I have to have that single dynamite, and I have to have this one here. This isn't going to be done anytime close to when this drought is going to start. So I'll tell you what we're going to do is I'm going to stop the episode when the drought starts. But I still want to make sure we get as much of this done as we can. We're getting there. We're getting there. I just need 4 more pieces of dynamite, and I have 14, so I know they can do it. They're just going to be taking their sweet time. The water pumping thing really irritates me. Really, really, really irritates me. Because I thought for sure I had that on lock, and that is... That's really unfortunate, because that's, as it stands now, consumable liquids, it's only like 7 days, 8 days, when you factor in all the water that's being used for other purposes. So, let's turn on these upgrades, and only the upgrades, because that doesn't add additional beds that we don't even have filled. So these guys can, you know, pump a little bit for the last 2 days. I guess it's fine, just be what it's going to be. Let's get these. I know it seems dumb to have this, you know, prioritized now, but it's going to be a mistake if this isn't finished by the time we have a bad tide, and I promise you I'm going to forget if it's not done by the end of this episode, and we're going to have a really rude awakening next time. But we have a gravity battery with 60,000 HPH capacity. We have both of these factories operating now. This one is making metal blocks. This one is making anvils, of which I already have 2, so I'll tell you what. Let's change this over to... the methane was going to be an issue, but we kept making more, so I guess that's fine. We need more drill bits. We're always going to need more drill bits. Having the metal here is smart. We're going to need to get some more laboratory glassware at some point. Paper is not as big of a deal right now, but we're going to want to have some probably sooner rather than later, and I really should build another mechanized kitchen house. I should have done that a long time ago, because that mushroom stew is a really good recipe. So why don't we just go do that? Okay, I feel a little bit better with 3,000 water-ish. And this will go here. This will go here. Alright, so now this can flow completely underneath the level here, I think. I think that will be okay. But because I don't trust stuff, let's double this. Make it a little bit wider here. I know I have enough edges, I want it to spread out a little bit more. They'll take care of that. That should be okay. See, I really should have put my floodgate dams down here so I could have 2 next to them and take care of that, but I guess it's fine. I guess it's fine. Let's see, what else? There's so much stuff I wanted to get done today. And I feel like we've done a good job of getting a lot of stuff accomplished, but we haven't done everything. Not quite everything. Plank production is still a pretty significant... Why is that not prioritized by haulers? Why are neither of these prioritized by haulers? That is absolutely a mistake. I'm going to have to build more these things, hauling upgrades. So this irrigation lodge would also count as one of those things. If I wanted to, and I got rid of this log gnawing station, I could put a... wait a second. No. I don't have to be dumb here. Okay, the 17%. No, let's get this out of here. Because here's what I can do. All right, I know it's the end of the episode. Stop trying to add stuff on. This can go here. And then Harvester's Cottage. That's the wrong one. Tapper Shack, that's what I wanted. Pine resin, because this is where all of our pine is. Oh, man. I thought this was going to be a smart thing to do. That sucks. Oh, wait, no, I can just move these. And just jog this forward. I know it's not the most efficient layout possible, but... You asked me to build more of these things, and now I'm doing it, so... You know, you can't really complain. Unless this doesn't fit, in which case I get to be mercilessly laughed at. Ha 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 ha! Okay, there you go, folks. You got it. You wanted it, you got it. At the expense of me having sunflower oil stored over here, which we might still be able to do. That's a problem for next episode. Well, that will allow me to get rid of the Tapper's flag here. So that will be good. And then we'll have other workers available to gather all of this stuff. Actually, before we... No. Okay. Alright. I'm sorry. I gotta do it to you. I'm actually going to build a harvester's cottage there instead. Just because this is going to be able to get the chestnuts and the berries. That just makes more sense. I'm sorry. It's going to be okay. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. I'm glad I caught that, though. Then this... Come on. This gatherer's flag could be another tapper's flag if we really felt it was important. But it is the end of our pre-drought cycle here. We thankfully were able to get a lot of water stored up. I think we're going to be in really good shape. Just making incremental improvements as much as we can, as best as we can. So, this is where this episode ends. I really appreciate the support, Beard Boosters especially, subsidizing the channel and all the fun stuff we do here, so I don't have to chase the algorithm and don't have to cut off a series at 5 episodes because people stopped watching it or whatever. We can just have a good time with the beavers and focus on enjoying the process instead of trying to sell whatever through sponsors or anything like that. I just like it better this way. It feels more authentic. It feels more like we're just having a good time. So I really appreciate you guys making that possible. And here comes the start of our drought. How many days is it? How many days? 6 days. All right, well, you know, could definitely be worse. Let's go ahead and raise this floodgate dam all the way up so this doesn't become a problem. Let's shut off these pumps here and close these before I forget, because now I've got 3 homeless beavers, and that problem will be solved when the harvester's cottage is built. And we have made some really, really, really good improvements today, folks. Just brief recap. Like, take a look at all this. This is a huge improvement. And we have a gravity battery that's going to continue gravity batterying itself. Let's just pause that so we don't waste too much. I guess I can keep... I guess I can just pause this. It'll be fine. We'll get everything else figured out next episode when we get back to this series on Friday. Whatever it is you're doing with the rest of your day, stay safe, have fun, and we'll see you then. Or you can come back tomorrow for the Iron Teeth, and then Wednesday, Thursday for more colony reviews. But I don't know. Do what you want. We'll see you when we see you. Take care. Bye-bye.